So you're an English major. And did you graduate as an English major?
I did,
You
yeah.
did. Okay.
I was briefly, I had like I sprinkled in a little political science there, and that was when I went and I did the study abroad in Germany, and that was all about like the European Union global studies stuff.
Yeah, so if you had gone back and majored in global studies, let's say you get to snap your fingers, you're a freshman again, Bridget, you're a global major. What do you think would have been different, and where do you think you would be now? Or
I think I would be like a better person. There's honestly like, and that sounds like so weird, but like I I just think like when you actually are okay. One of the things that I loved about my program in Germany was it was all about the European Union, and I had literally no idea what that was before I went. I just saw that it was in Germany and it was about global politics, and you got to travel a ton for it, like through the program. It was all set up, and I just thought this sounds really different from other study abroad programs I've looked at, and so I think the people who choose to do this would be interesting people. And they were really, really wonderful people. But besides that, like I just was like, I don't know anything about this. And I've spent the past 3 years reading a ton of books and I just am kind of like, I need a little break. And it was so fucking fascinating. Like when you are forced to actually look at what's going on in the world, this is also going to sound pretentious, but like there is so much going on. Like,
yeah, no, and here's the other thing. I went to Croatia when I was in my senior year or whatever, and like
yeah,
you realize Americans are they care about America and everything
yeah.
else is irrelevant completely. And like you go anywhere else in the world, it's like, oh, hey, there's, you're missing just about the whole picture. Like nobody gives a fuck about like, your gas prices. Like,
Yeah. I mean, and it's also I think like it is something about space. Like obviously with Europe, like that's much smaller surface area than the United States, or actually probably not with Russia. I don't know. Geography, not my strong suit. Um, but it it was just such a great program, and I feel like the people who I met there, like we would be talking about like what they wanted to do, and they'd be like, oh, I really want to go to law school and be like an immigration lawyer, or like I really want to like go work at these nonprofits and do all this stuff. And now we're all graduated, and someone actually posted this thing of like, oh, like let's like what is everybody doing? Like where is everybody right now? And like one of my best friends from the program actually just came home, but she,
oh, Bridget, can you hear me?
another one. Oh
I'm
yes.
sorry, you're
Oh
cutting
no.
out just a little
It's,
bit. I'm
is it
sorry.
working now?
Yes, it is. You're good.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Your friend
Sorry.
just came
Got
home.
nervous. Yeah, she's from the Peace Corps in Ukraine. And like we went through and did this whole oh, where is everybody, and everyone is doing like such cool stuff, but it's also like really cool stuff that I genuinely think is like going to help the world. Like a lot of them are like organizers for local campaigns and stuff like that. And I think if you spend 4 years just like studying about like here is everything that's wrong and here's all these alternative ways that we can be doing things, you actually like want to follow through with it. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's or I feel like for me, like I kind of got to dip my toes in and I was really excited about it. And then I came home and I was like back to, reading really old books by white British men. And yeah.
Cool. Okay. So basically, you saw other people kind of get politically involved in things in Europe primarily, like European Union issues and like global issues, and you were like, "That's fucking sick," and I could have done that with my life, and instead I have done English stuff, which I mean, hey, but like, here's another thought about that, right? It's like I think people I think what would you have changed is such an interesting question because it's like you needed to go through the shit that you did in order to discover that like hey it wasn't working right like you and without that experience if you just went for the global shit from the day one like you don't know if that would have done the same thing like you might be like oh I should have done English right and it's like well I don't know so and now going forward in your life you can try to get more involved with like global politics shit instead of like I don't
Yeah.
know I think people discount the choices that they made because it's easy to regret things, and I think that they don't realize how they play into, like, every time I fucked up making a video that nobody gave a fuck about, right? It was like, sweet, that's good because it, it steered me towards hopefully making stuff that people actually give a fuck about. So I
Yeah.
appreciate those dumb. I appreciate every time I played Pokemon in my room and nobody cared.